Ow.
Did Milwaukee win?
I don't know. I have no idea. I honestly have no idea. I couldn't tell you. But look at that and tell me, please. It was such a fun game, bro. We had Kevin Durant with us and just blasting the other team. And
22-10, supposed to beat Miami.
Yep. Thumbnail. Did A&M win, Jakes? Yes, A&M might have won tonight. They might have. What is happening in the chat right now? What is going on?
My cousin did not go to A&M, guys.
I don't know what's happening. I gotta put the link on Instagram. It's gonna be a couple minutes past 12:30, but we'll be okay. We'll get through it together.
Couple guys, he's a soccer fan.
Guys, we're gonna go live close to 12:35. So go get some snacks. Go get you some apple juice and some popcorn. That's a terrible combination. Get something better, but get your snacks and come back in like 3 minutes. But stay here. Yeah, you know what I mean. I am the ultimate multitasker. Meat and potatoes, dynasty to the moon. I have no idea what that You're all good, Noble Guy.
That's how we felt, Noble Guy, just 5 minutes ago.
Oh man. Guys that are here with us, did you guys enjoy the game tonight? Were you there? Two days in a row of doing a reaction show to a game that happened yesterday. 8 p.m. starts, man. They're worth it. They're awesome. But it's a little too late, you know.
Yeah.
3 minutos. Darden Bond Corn. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. We will start at 12:35, everyone. Wait, Tag, the team you're talking about, did they win? Milwaukee. Yes, Noble Guy. That is exactly. This is exactly what we're gonna do tonight. Great idea. Less than 2 minutes, and we will get started. One minute. Does anybody call them Milwaukee or is it Milwaukee? Does anybody say Milwaukee? Because I said that yesterday. It was really embarrassing. But it's Milwaukee. I know. Yeah. Milwaukee. 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 All right. You know what? It's basically 12:35. We can just go. All right, guys. Welcome in. Mixed emotions tonight. A&M absolutely blasts, and I mean blasts, Texas State in the College Station Regional winners bracket. And on our way home, we get the news that Aiden Sims, who has been A&M's best pitcher all season, is out for the rest of the year, so he will not play in the remainder of A&M's postseason run. So we will start with the good news, and we will start with the incredible game that we just watched. Then we'll talk about Aiden Sims and what that means and what the starting rotation will look like in a super regional if we come to that. So that's how we'll start. So let's start with the good news. I apologize for my voice. We were at the game, as you could tell. So I'm going to sound a little rusty, but that's okay. Let's get started. A&M annihilated Texas State tonight. 17-2 final score. A&M out hit Texas State 20-7. Texas State would hit solo shots in the first 2 innings of this game, and for the rest of the game, Texas State would not score, and A&M would score 17 unanswered. Weston Moss is where we have to start. He was absolutely amazing. This was his best performance of the year. Yes, better. I would say better than even better than his Auburn game. Went seven innings and a third, gave up 5 hits, 2 runs, only walked 1 and struck out 10. This is his new high strikeout single game record. It's the longest outing of any A&M pitcher this season. And yeah, I mean, he was amazing. What did you think, Tag? How was the game for you?
It was a great showing by the 12th man today. It was a great day of baseball in general. But yeah, no, it starts with Weston Moss, and that was the most confident I think I've seen him on the mound this year. And it was in the biggest game that you needed him to do that. He goes 7 in the third. It looks really good. Early leaves him out for that one batter in the 7th or in the 8th, so he gets that standing ovation. He pitches with a lot of emotion. I feel like he definitely deserved that. Based off the way he pitched and based off the kind of season he's had, it was kind of a little up and down and a lot of good memories, but I mean some inconsistency. But yeah, I mean he's now with the news of Sims, he's the guy in my opinion. So he's the X factor for the pitching staff if we're looking at a super regional. But yeah, the game was great. When you get a Sun Belt team and after Gavin's home run, the crowd was, let's just say that their pitchers were not rattled. And then they kind of did what A&M did in game 1 against Florida, where they threw guys that didn't have a lot of experience with high ERAs, trying to save as much pitching as they can for the game against USC tomorrow.
Yeah, the beginning of this game, I mean, we can go to our keys, I guess, that we talked about before the game. I said get off to a good start because A&M was the away team today, technically, so they got to bat first, and they did not score first. They were, again, in a hole. It's just like this game starts and it feels like, oh, here we go again. A&M's going to have to dig out of a hole against a really good hitting team. So a little sluggish offensively to start the game. Had base runners in the first and the second inning, but weren't able to do anything with it. And then just kind of exact same pattern as the Lamar game yesterday. Gavin Grahovac ends the shutout. It was only 2 innings this time, but yeah, Gavin hit solo shots in the first game yesterday and today, and that was A&M's first run in both of the games. And then from then on out, it was just all A&M, and it was so much fun to watch. Um, yeah, I guess we go through the lineup. Gavin Grahovac was 1 for 4. He had his solo shot, but he also had he touched home plate 4 times, so he was on base a lot. Caden Sorrell was 3 for 5, 2 RBIs, touched home plate twice. Chris Akopian was 3 for 6, which he was really good. Had 4 RBIs. Sawyer Farr came into the game at the end and he hit a double, and it was down the line just like he did against Penn. It was like the same hit. It was so cool.
Yeah.
Nico Partita, again, yesterday we talked about he was 0 for 4 yesterday, but he was on base a bit and he had some really good swings, and that showed today. He was 2 for 4 today. Scored 3 runs with 1 RBI. Jake Dewar was 3 for 5. Bear Harrison was 1 for 4, but again, Bear Harrison, like, he was on base three or four times tonight. Got hit by a pitch, had a walk. Ben Royo was 1 for 4. TK, we talked about this yesterday. What was A&M going to do with Jorian Wilson because he wasn't playing very well? And we did kind of what we thought they were going to do, which was they were going to put Jorian in right field.
And TK in right field.
TK in right field. And he was really good. He was 2 for 5. And then Boston Kellner, really good, 3 for 6. Yeah, it was really good to see to be able to have Royo and Kellner both in the lineup. Like, that's a really good thing. And Kellner was really good today. Like, 3 for 6, had an RBI, scored 2 runs. Just an onslaught offensively. What did you see?
Yeah, I mean, the best part is your top of the lineup, your best hitters, your stars, when they need to perform, they perform today. And Mikey was like, you got to hit 3 home runs, but I mean, I don't know if they hit 3 home runs. I know they hit 2 for sure, but the 2 home runs you hit were crucial. One ended the shutout, one gave you the lead, and that once we gained the lead was never lost. And that also predicates it on how good this pitching staff was. What I took away is when hitters use the whole field, this lineup is dangerous. Sorrell beat the shift twice. TK beat the shift. And when they're playing, like, even Kellner beat the shift because of how far the left fielder was playing it down the left field line, and he just hit it in the left center and got a double because of it. So, this team, it wasn't necessarily the home run numbers that I would have liked, knowing that how much they give up, first of all, and knowing how much A&M hits. But I mean, it was a textbook showing from this lineup when you needed it the most.
Yes, only Tag was, wanted 3 or more home runs, but it's okay when you have 34 total bases on the night. That'll work too. Like, it just, I mean, I don't know how many times we beat the shift, but it just felt like every time we hit a ball hard, it found grass, which to start the game, we hit a couple balls pretty hard right at people. But it took a second to barrel up some balls, but I felt pretty good about how we were going to play offensively after the first 2 innings. Said, okay, we're hitting some balls kind of hard at people, but yeah, I mean, and that just exploded after the third. Texas State starter was really good for a bit. Jesus Tovar, he went 4 1/3, gave up 9 hits, but was really good for those first, I would say, 3 innings. Struck out 4, gave up 4 runs, but I mean, he was really good. He had A&M off balance. It felt like a lot more than 4 strikeouts.
Yeah.
He was, and it felt like he was dicing us up a bit. And then Gavin said no more. Texas State used, ready for how many pitchers do you think Texas State used tonight, Tag, if you had to guess?
8.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Texas State went through 9 pitchers tonight. So if an opponent, here's a pro tip. If an opponent goes through 9 pitchers at Olsen Field, they're going to lose the game. That's like typically how that works. I thought the crowd was, we can talk about the crowd for a second. I thought the crowd was a really big factor in this game. Obviously, so Gavin Grahovac hits the solo shot, which looked like that was a high home run. It looked like it was going to land on the rec. Solo shot in the third, Jake Dewar, 2-run homer in the fourth. And then it was the sixth inning when A&M scored 5 runs. I tweeted, and it felt like the seventh inning against Oregon in 24, where the pitching staff just totally fell apart. They hit 2 or 3 batters in that inning, walked a bunch of guys, and A&M, unlike yesterday against Lamar, they found those RBIs. Like they hit the ball hard and found green grass to drive guys home. So
Mhm.
the sixth inning in this game where A&M scored 5 runs, they were up what nine? They were up 9-2 after that inning, and that's when it was completely over. But yeah,
Yeah.
I thought the crowd really had a big impact. Again, we talked about it before the regional. Yes, Texas State has played in College Station a lot, but they have not played in a regional atmosphere at night, and it showed tonight. Like their pitching staff,
Yeah.
they were certainly very rattled, especially in that sixth inning. So yeah, I thought the crowd was awesome. It was a great
Yeah.
game.
And I wanted to I wanted to touch
You
on
wanted to
something that you
tag on?
I wanted to touch on something you said. Wait, when you said they had to use 9 pitchers, when I feel like the plan was they were going to use their high leverage arms if it was like a 1 or 2 run game where they thought they could win the game. And then once the game kind of got it, once the fifth inning happened, I wouldn't even say the sixth. Once the fifth inning happened, they went to guys that were inexperienced or their lesser arms because they knew they would have to play 2 games and then win on Monday to win the regional. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna have to use arms that maybe aren't your best arms and to eat innings, and that's what happened. And A&M absolutely shelled those pitchers. So it's going to be very interesting to see tomorrow. Obviously, their closer, which is their best arm, will be available tomorrow. Probably against USC because you got to get it to the regional final again. But who knows? I'm excited to watch a very entertaining elimination game, which will be another emotional game, which I
Yep.
talked about pre-show, and which favors A&M because you're going to have to play a very emotional game and then change uniforms 2 hours later and play another very emotional game
At
in the
night.
regional final at night. So
Yeah. Let's go through a couple comments really quick. There's a bunch of comments. Sims had ESPN has them at 10. So and the staff had
hey,
12
I trust
combined.
Travis's scorebook over ESPN.
I don't know. I have no idea. It says ESPN says 10. I'm gonna trust 10. And then yeah, this is a good stat. Gavin and Caden tied for fifth all-time home runs at 46. Yeah, just like such a great return to form for the offense. Felt like after the Mississippi State series, like obviously it was as bad as it could have possibly been against Auburn in the SEC tournament, and then game one against Lamar, it didn't feel good either, even though you won the game. And we talked about that. I said, don't be too worried about the offense. Like, don't worry about, like, do not, I wouldn't panic. And tonight was a reinforcement of that 17 runs.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I have to check. There's another one. I'd have to check stats, but Gavin becomes the first player to have multiple 20 home run seasons for the Ags since the 70s or
I
80s.
mean, it's him and Jace are the two, I believe. Don't quote me. But yeah, I mean, he's such a good player. It's just,
Even
um,
if that's not true, I mean,
yeah.
like you cannot speak more highly of Gavin Grohovac
Mhm.
as a player.
Yeah,
This is
he is the like the soul of this team. Like in my opinion, like
one of the all-time greats.
yeah, it's going to be sad when this team inevitably does get eliminated because he will have played his last game as an Aggie. We all would assume, but yeah, one of the best college baseball players here at Texas A&M.
Do you have any other kind of thoughts on the game, or do you want to move to just Texas State and USC tomorrow?
I mean, the thing that like you used 3 pitchers today, and 2 of them you can bring back tomorrow. If because now that you don't have Sims, you're gonna have to piece it all together the rest of the way out, even through a super regional and through the place in Middle America. And so you're using like on against Lamar, you're going to be able to bring back Gavin Lyons tomorrow. You're going to be able to bring back Fresh Corn tomorrow. You're going to be able to bring back guys like you might not have to use Cole Hubert or Hunter Vincent, but they're all available tomorrow. The only 2 people that in Monday you could bring back Shane. So you're fine pitching wise. The only person that is unavailable for the rest of the weekend is Weston Moss. So the pitching staff is set up to be really good. Yeah, you don't have the marquee name or the best stuff, but there are guys that can get it done.
A lot of inside jokes in the chat. A lot of inside jokes.
Chase Morrill's mother.
Yeah. Let's just do it. Let's talk about Aiden Sims, and then we can talk about tomorrow and the rest of A&M's postseason journey. So we're driving home. Michael Early's press conference happens, obviously, and he officially announces that Aiden Sims is done for the year. He re-aggravated whatever was going on while he was warming up or while he was getting back into form to play. I don't know exactly when that happened. I don't think they said exactly when it happened. But here's what Tag and I said last night. Tag and I said that if Aiden Sims does not pitch today in this game against Texas State that was just played, if that didn't happen, it was not strategy. There was something seriously wrong. That's what Tag and I said. And when we heard that Weston Moss was starting, we both kind of pit in our stomach, said, "Uh-oh, Aiden Sims is hurt. Like he's not going to play at least in this regional." And to hear that he's not going to play the rest of the year is pretty crushing when you look at A&M's hopes at making a run to Omaha. Your three starters in a super, which I'm not going to say A&M is 100% playing in a super, but what I'll say is we feel really good about A&M winning this regional based off of how tonight went and just the matchup you're going to get against the team that either USC or Texas State tomorrow. Texas State, even if they are able to win that game tomorrow, is going to have really nobody to pitch that's going to be competitive with A&M's lineup. And you could say USC. What is his name? Like what USC's pitcher, the Big Ten pitcher of the year?
Oh, Mason Edwards and
Yep.
Grant Gavell. Both
Yep.
of them are unavailable. So
yeah, you do not have to see Mason Edwards. He pitched today. He went like 7 innings. He's unavailable for tomorrow for USC. So whoever you play tomorrow, they're going to already have played a game and they're going to be lighter than they'd like to be in the pitching. And A&M is coming off of one of their best offensive performances of the year. Whoever A&M plays, you feel great about tomorrow. Moving on to what a super regional would look like. To me, your three starters are Shane Sadeo, Weston Moss, and Ethan Darden. Those are your three, I would say. And it's just even more pressure on your starters to give you length. Because if they can't do that, you just don't have, you've hit the ceiling for the pitching. You just do not have the guys anymore without Aiden Sims. And it just sucks because if the reason A&M is eliminated, if they are eliminated, if they are in a super or whenever it happens, it feels like it's going to be because of the pitching. And, we've had the talks about Jason Kelly. We went on a rant about that after the Auburn series, or the Auburn game in Hoover, but it is so hard to overlook these injuries that Early and Jason and just this staff has had to deal with. You lose. Let's recap, okay? Because it's just ridiculous. So Caden McCoy, who is absolutely one of your three starters, who was 100%, in my opinion, one of the planned 3 weekend starters for A&M. He's gone in the preseason. Okay, you don't have him. Josh Stewart in game 1 against Oklahoma goes down. In the first SEC game, he's done for the year. Let's talk about what that means. So no Caden McCoy means you have to push a new guy into a starting role who was not originally meant to be a starter. That was Weston Moss, pushed into a starting role. He was not, I don't think, intended to be a starter. The three starters for A&M this year were supposed to be Shane Sadeo, Aiden Sims, and Caden McCoy. So that's already -1 bullpen arm. Weston Moss was supposed to be a bullpen guy. Then you lose Josh Stewart, and that's another bullpen arm gone. 2 of your best bullpen arms are gone. And now no Aiden Sims. So looking at this from the beginning of the year, yeah, I agree. Caden McCoy was your Friday night starter.
Absolutely.
So if you were given all of this information at the beginning of the season, that means you have one pitcher penciled in as a starter. And that's just, it's just so unfortunate. Like there's nothing you can do about it. It's going to make, and I've defended Jason Kelly a bit this year just because of everything he's had to deal with. And, we can have that conversation after the season's over, but I don't know. It just sucks. It just sucks so bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And going back to when you started this conversation, like at 12:30, when some of the beat was given their game notes about who's starting, who's the projected starter for both teams. And I don't remember who at 24/7 Sports got it first, but they tweeted out at like 12 o'clock that Weston's the projected starter. And I texted you literally immediately going, Sims must be done for the year at 12 o'clock.
Yep.
12 p.m. Central Time. I texted you, Aiden Sims is done for the year, and we're here at 12:53 a.m. Not a little bit more than 12 hours later, and it is announced. Like it wasn't a shocker to me at all. Like we talked about, like
Yep.
there had to have been something wrong. Like you can only gamesmanship it so much. Like you can only coach speak it so much. You can only hide your hand to so much. But like it was I had a feeling that it was inevitable. Like no matter
Just
what I want to
sucks, man.
say, yeah, it sucks. It absolutely sucks. But when you miss your start at Ole Miss, right? Yeah, you miss your start at Ole Miss, or you go 3 innings at Ole Miss, and then you miss your start against Mississippi State, and then you miss in Hoover, and he keeps telling you, yeah, he's going to pitch in the postseason, and then he doesn't pitch your most important game. Like, yeah, we know
know.
he's done.
Yeah, my question is how long they knew for. I could be missing something. If somebody knows when he re-aggravated this, when it happened, I'd love to hear, because going back to last night, we talked about Early's reaction when he was asked about if Aiden Sims was going to have like a pitch cap for how many pitches he was going to throw, because Early did say before this regional that Aiden Sims was going to pitch, so it must have happened after that. Um, and he kind of gave a joking answer. He was like, "Oh, I can't tell you that. That's gamesmanship. His pitch limit's 150 pitches." That was his answer last night, and I took it as he obviously he doesn't want to answer the question, in which you shouldn't. It's gamesmanship. You should not answer that question. I'm not saying he did anything wrong. Like Early should not answer that question, but yeah, I took it as, Aiden Sims is hurt.
Yeah.
I watched that interview and I said, "Oh no!" Like, and then it was just confirmed when we heard Weston Moss was starting. Now, yeah, everything was tracking positive. Yeah, I agree with that. Must have been it.
Yeah, that had to have been it. So, but yeah, now that we know he's not starting, now that we know he's not pitching, let's come up with this. What do we think is going to happen tomorrow? So, for what we can guess, we would assume Ethan Darden will be the starter tomorrow,
Yep.
which I feel very good about against either a USC lineup or a Texas State
Texas
lineup
Tech.
where their best hitters are left-handed. So I feel good about that. And then we bring up the Hunter Bond is not thrown this weekend. Cooper Powell is not thrown this weekend. Gavin Lyons can pitch tomorrow. And
Fresh
then
corn.
you have fresh corn at the end. However
Yep.
long it takes, if you have the lead, I bet he will get the ball because he only threw 20 pitches on Friday, and he wants the ball. We've seen it time and time again. Mississippi State is the perfect example. Threw 50 whatever pitches on Saturday or on Friday night, and then give me the ball Saturday. I don't care how many innings I've got to go. I feel like there's a lot of arms you can use. If you get in a slugfest, you feel fine. The other team is not in the same position as you at all.
Yeah.
So that's the good thing. Plus, they were going to have to play an extra game to play you. So
Yeah, let's map that out, because like this is why we're not saying A&M is going to win the regional. That would be stupid to just say that. Oh, we're assuming A&M is going to win the regional, but let's map that out. USC or Texas State is going to win the game tomorrow. Both of those teams are going to play. Whoever wins that game tomorrow has already played a game, and they're going to have to play A&M in the nightcap. So they're tired. They used more pitchers. If Texas State somehow wins that game tomorrow, I don't know how in the world they're going to compete with A&M tomorrow night. But
especially if they throw that freshman, especially if they throw the closer to win that game, I have no clue. I have no clue how they're going to piece it together.
And they're going to, because they have to win. They have to. It's win or go home. So point is, whoever wins that game tomorrow is going to be exhausted and light in the bullpen against A&M. If they somehow beat A&M, they'd have to beat A&M again on Monday. So there's no realistic path to USC or Texas State beating A&M twice in 2 days after a game tomorrow. I feel really good about A&M winning the regional. We're not saying A&M is going to win the regional. We're not making a stupid prediction. And yes, Dylan, exactly. Like tomorrow is win or go home for USC or Texas State. They're not saving anyone for A&M unless they're up big. They have to win. Mm-hmm. So I want to move into a super regional conversation just from a pitching plan. Just because like I think we should touch on it a little bit, not get into it too much, because if A&M makes a super, we'll do our whole preview. But yeah, I mean, it's, the Mississippi State series gives you a lot of hope because you won that series without Aiden Sims. You gave up 18 runs in the first game, and it was extremely nasty, and you won a messy series, but you won the series. And so looking at a super, you don't have to win all 3 games. You only win 2, right?
You only
And
got one,
so,
too.
A&M is going to have to find a path to winning 2 games without Aiden Sims. And yeah, I mean, the 3 starters to me would be Shane Sadeo, Weston Moss, and Ethan Darden.
And that's in no particular order. Like we could come here and early says before the Chapel Hill Regional, which it looks like. I'm not going to speak on that situation, but that looks just as good of a situation as the College Station Regional for North Carolina.
Yep.
But if you're going on the road, I would assume that's just me guessing. After the way that he pitched, Weston Moss did today, I believe he will pitch the first game. Well, if it's Thursday, if they're the Thursday, Friday, Saturday Super Regional, no, I don't think you change it. I think you go Shane, and then Moss, and then whoever's available Sunday. Yeah, yeah, and then there's
Clayton Freshcorn becomes maybe the most important pitcher on the team.
Because let me throw this idea out for you. Let's say A&M wins really big in game 1 or loses really big in game 1, and then does the opposite the next day, and you don't use Freshcorn. Are you starting him game 3?
I want to so bad. I just want to do it. Just start it. Why would you? Okay, here's an interesting experiment. First, we have not seen Ethan Darden pitch more than 3 innings, which I would love to see. Like if whoever you play tomorrow, I'd love to see Ethan Darden, go 5 innings or go for however long he can instead of pulling him early. Like I would love to see that. I would also love to see Clayton Freshcorn try to start and see what that looks like. I don't think that they're ever going to start Clayton. Like he's top 4 most saves in A&M baseball history. Like he has his role and he's really good at it. You cannot take him out of that role, but it's just like Dylan, it's just not going to happen, man. It's just not going to happen.
And if I'm wrong, I'm glad to be wrong. If he starts, but
why not?
I just don't think it's happening. The reason
this is also not going to happen.
Yeah, that's the after the season he had, I believe fully he is done pitching. I know he throws 96. I know he does. He will not pitch the rest of his college career.
Yes, no boy. This will never happen. That would be the stupidest decision I have ever seen.
Yeah, let him go blow his UCL out, and then he can't hit or pitch for a year.
Yep. And let's talk about that with Aiden Sims. Like Aiden Sims has not injured himself badly yet, but allegedly, we don't know exactly, but yeah, if he's hurt or he's in pain or whatever's going on, but he's not officially injured yet, you do not want to try to throw him in a super regional and then you lose him for all of next year, right? Like that's what we're talking about here. Early talked about in his post game. I watched a little bit of it. He said it's in the best interest of the team that Aiden Sims does not pitch for the rest of the year. And I think a lot of people might look at that, kind of squint their eyes and go, "What are you talking about, dude? Like we're trying to go win a championship. He has to pitch for us to do that." I would agree with you. I'm not sure if A&M can win a championship without Aiden Sims pitching on their team. I'm not sure. I don't feel good about that. But you have to have him next year, and you would just feel sick if you threw him in a super and he's done after 10 pitches because he injures himself and he's out for next year.
Yeah.
That would make you sick. So I think it is in the best interest of the program that he doesn't pitch the rest of the year. I totally agree with the decision, and we don't even know exactly what's wrong, but it makes a lot of sense. Exactly. Like this would just be sickening.
Yeah, that would be so. And I've been on the record saying this, like A&M's team next year might be better top down. Like, yeah, the stars next year might not be the same stars that you had this year. But if Aiden Sims will be the star on the mound going into next year, and if you go out and he blows out his UCL or if something catastrophic injury-wise happens, you don't get him next year. And that title run that you could have next year with the loaded roster is just gone. Like all the talented freshmen you have, I mean, it's not gone. I'm not saying that they could still go out and win, but you're haunted like you are this year is what I'm trying to say. Like if you lose Sims next year, like you're at the same disadvantage you are this year. But hopefully this portal class or this the high school class or just the overall recruiting class of 2027, whatever it is.
Hmm.
We'll address the holes that this roster will have once these guys graduate.
Yeah. Here's the thing for me, talking about a super regional, which they're not there yet. I get it, but we're talking about it. Um, you have to win game one, especially if you're going on the road, which isn't confirmed yet, as you said, but North Carolina's in a really good spot to win that regional. So it's most my prediction, and I think the most reasonable prediction is that A&M and North Carolina will both win their regionals, and A&M will travel to Chapel Hill for the supers. That's the most reasonable thing that will happen. If you want to win a super regional at Chapel Hill, you need to win game one. And to me, that looks like you need to take Shane Sadeo out of game one. It has not worked. He was not good against Lamar again. It's not a recipe for winning games, and I know it's not a recipe for winning games, not just because of the Lamar game, but because A&M is 3-7 in conference openers this year. Not good. That's not a formula. Again, we talked about this. It is a miracle. It is so incredible and impressive that A&M finished with 18 conference wins while they were 3-7 in game ones in SEC play. That's incredible.
Mhm.
But it's not sustainable in a super regional where you're playing one of the national championship favorites, North Carolina. It's not sustainable. You
No.
cannot you cannot get shelled in game one and expect to win the
Mhm.
series. You have to win that first game. And to me, that looks like you maybe need to move Weston Moss to game one.
But
That's
the only pushback I have is if A&M gets slotted on the Thursday, Friday, Saturday Super Regional, you can't do it. I don't think because
yeah,
Moss was already the Sunday guy, and then you moved them or Saturday, and then you moved them back to Sunday. Now you move them back up to Saturday. If you move them back, you move them up again to Thursday. I know you'll throw your same bullpen, whatever, a day before or 2 days before, whatever. I understand that. It is not worth doing it. So whatever, if they're Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'm fine with not starting Sadeo. I'm fine with not starting Sadeo. I'm fine with not starting Darden. I'm fine with starting whoever can get through the lineup once without getting absolutely rocked on the road.
yeah.
Like it just if you get rocked the first if this team gets in a hole again, like it's inevitable at this point. We talk, oh, A&M can't get out of can't give up the lead if they're hitting first, and they can't give up the lead in the top of the first if they're hitting first. Well, they go 3 up, 3 down, and then Texas State hits a home run. So
Hmm.
they're it just felt like it's inevitable that the other team is going to score for first now. But if as long as you limit damage like Moss did today, and if you get that on Thursday in a super, I'm just hypothetically speculating because it is a 5-12 super, and they tend to put the higher seeds. They tend to do 2 games early in the week. So I'm just throwing out what could happen, and as long as you don't get shelled like the third inning of Mississippi State, that's a successful start. It just is against North Carolina. As long as you don't give up more than 3 or 4, like if you give up 3 through 3 against North Carolina, that's fine. You the way this offense is, you can out dig your hole that you just did.
ECU found some success today
Yes.
against North Carolina.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so there is a realm of hitting against North Carolina. It's just you can't get shelled like the big inning that inevitably has haunted A&M this year. The big inning cannot happen, and especially now. Now you're without Sims, and you're like, oh, the bounce back game is for sure happening. Now you don't know that, so you just can't get absolutely shelled. Yeah, if you lose game one and it's 7-6, you feel so good, like, in my opinion. But I don't know.
Yeah, like
It's just something I feel like.
the the problem is very clear, which is that A&M gets off to bad starts, especially in game ones, and they lose those game ones. And you've got to find a way to reverse that for supers. You
Yeah.
have to find a way to reverse that. And to me, the first step is taking Shane Sadeo out of that role because it's not worked. You can pitch Darden maybe and then throw Lions, and that's what you can do. I don't know. But like it's just not Shane is just not it's not working. It's not gonna win you a super regional. And then, by starting Shane in game two or three, are you just delaying the problem and then you'll just get shelled in one of those games? Maybe. But with A&M's pitching staff and now without Sims, it feels better putting everything you have into that first game and then finding a way to just win one out of the next two instead of getting shelled in the first game and then having to win games 2 and 3 and putting pressure on both of those starters to perform. Whereas if you win the first game, it's pressure on just one of them to have to win. So you have to find a way to win the first game if you advance to the supers.
Yeah, I
Um,
completely agree.
is Early
Um,
gonna have to coach the remaining regional games with pitch counts in mind to preserve arms for supers?
I can answer this. I don't, the only person that will be on the pitch count if they appear again will be Shane Sadeo for next week. But everyone else, I don't think so. Unless you lose tomorrow night, then everything. Yes, there will be a pitch count. Um, but for tomorrow night, there will be no pitch counts for anyone that goes in
Yeah,
my opinion.
yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it is a good question to ask. Like, how many pitches does Fresh Corn throw tomorrow if you're up? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're winning, what time does Fresh Corn come in the game? The fifth, the sixth? I don't know. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll just hope that A&M wins the regional tomorrow night, which we feel good about based off all of the reasons we've already talked about.
mhm.
Yeah, I think that's everything I have to say. A&M will either play USC or Texas State tomorrow night in the regional finals. If they win, they will win the regional. If they lose, it'll be a winner take all on Monday. So, um, yeah, that's everything I have to say. Do you have anything
Yeah.
else?
Um, if the atmosphere that was tonight is tomorrow, that's you A&M will be very very successful
Yeah,
because
I
I
agree.
felt that once Dewar's ball left and once A&M gets a lead, that it is the hardest place to
Yeah,
play in college baseball. Any picks?
I love USC. I just love USC tomorrow.
I don't see it. I don't see it. The reason why I
Really?
don't see it,
We're disagreeing.
no Grant Gavell, no Mason Edwards. That's all. That's enough to be said, in my opinion. And Adam Troy got absolutely in the high leverage moment, gave up a bomb to Chase Mora that caused what happened today to happen. And I think it's inevitable that the regional final will be Texas State versus A&M. But
I just like totally disagree.
however, I say that in confidence about that, but like if USC blows them out tomorrow, like I could see that. Like
I
I
mean,
could see any outcome.
I know it was Lamar, but I mean, Lamar's got a pretty good pitching staff all around. Like they do. Like for their conference, they do. And I know it was USC, but oh my gosh. Uh, okay. Anyways, don't worry about that. It's fine. What was I saying?
Um,
Okay,
no, you were
US.
talking
Here's what I was saying. I loved how USC played offensively today. They did everything. They hit home runs. They hit singles. They beat the shift.
about.
They hit doubles. They were really good today. So I liked USC's momentum. Texas State got annihilated. They're going to be. I feel like they're going to be pretty down in the dumps tomorrow, knowing that one, they're playing in 90-degree weather after they get shelled, and also knowing that even if they do somehow manage to win that game tomorrow afternoon, they're going to have to play A&M twice to
There,
get out of
there's
the
there's
get
one
out of
thing
the
I want to
regional.
there's one thing I want to say before this because this
Go
is
for it.
I think this will be really funny. To the guy who picked Lamar to win the regional, good on you, buddy. Good on
Great
good,
pick. Great pick,
great pick.
kiddo. Love you,
Great pick.
Micah. Micah took some gorgeous pictures of
He
of
did.
Olson
I agree.
tonight. So shout out to Micah. Love Micah. Love your pictures, but real rough pick to pick the Lamar Cardinals to take the regional. We
Yeah.
had a Lamar player, Kevin Durant, sat in us with section 203 tonight. He was really nice. Shout out to him. Love you, Lamar. Um, yeah, that
Yeah.
was a fun tangent. Over under on number of cramps. Tag is. Can you hear me?
And
Tag.
yeah. Yeah, I can hear you. You're good.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and enjoy the weather, enjoy everything. Yeah, in game three there will be a lot of cramps.
Uh, his name is Micah. He's like a Lamar. He's associated with Lamar somehow. I think.
Yeah, the problem is he's like a national media
Yeah.
picked Lamar.
He's
So
a national media college baseball personality. Shout out to Kef. Yes, shout out to Kef. Those who know, shout out to Kef.
yeah,
Did you see this one? How many cramps are we going to have in the game tomorrow? 93 degrees, blistering sun,
the
miserable game.
the good part is we play at night, so just adds to
Yeah.
them playing 2 games. If their position players are playing 2 games, um, even worse on the catcher if it's the same catcher for 2 games for whatever team wins. That yeah, it's gonna be blistering hot like it was on yesterday, well Friday now. During that 3 o'clock game, it'll be very similar to that. So I would say at least a few players cramp up.
Yeah. Look, aside from Aiden Sims, which is huge news, obviously, but aside from Aiden Sims, Texas A&M faces no disadvantages tomorrow night. That at all. I mean, like every advantage that they could possibly want is goes their way. And the other thing, this is one thing I forgot to say about this game. Like it felt like everything A&M touched in this game just turned to gold. Like Texas State got a couple runners on at one point. We thought it would be Weston's last inning, and they hit a ball like 110 right at Gavin, and he snags it and touches first base for a double play to end the inning. Just the second Texas State got something going, just hit it right at Gavin. Like it just felt it was the perfect night. It felt like everything A&M touched turned to gold. That was the
Yeah.
last thing I was going to add. So not only that, but man, I just felt like I feel it through my expo marker. Um, Everything that A&M could possibly
Mhm.
want is in their hands tomorrow. They have every advantage you could imagine for everything that we just talked
Yeah.
about.
And the good
Yeah,
part
so
is your
that's it.
stars are playing like stars. Gavin again with a back-to-back days with a home run. Caden looked really good today, and then Chris is really coming on these last couple of games, so it's a good sign. Um, the left field, yeah,
This is what I'm talking about. Like a couple Texas State outfielders misread some balls that went over their heads. The Texas State right fielder who slammed into a wall last night. Well, technically last night was our game. 2 nights ago, Texas State versus USC in game 2 of the regional. He slammed into the right field wall to rob USC of like a 2-run home run that would have given it. I mean, it would have changed the game. He hurt himself. He slammed into that wall to grab a ball. He had a very similar play today where he held up and dropped a ball
Mhm.
that he looked a little scared of the wall, which I don't blame him. But
No,
yeah, that's another example of just everything A&M touched in this game turned to gold. Everything went their
Mhm.
way. So yeah, where do we go from here? I'm not exactly sure what you mean. If
no,
you
he was talking about pitching with Sims.
literally, where do we go from here? You beat the ever living schnot out of whoever you play tomorrow, and we'll talk about the pitching plan for supers on
and
Wednesday.
and hope and pray
But
ECU wins too.
and hope and pray ECU wins too. If you want to talk about pitching, you can rewind like 15 minutes. We talked about it a bit.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so just an outstanding night, except for the news. The news sucks. Tag and I kind of said yesterday that's what we thought was going to happen, but still crushing news. So yeah, that's all I have. Do you have anything else? Get
No,
out of here.
but just be ready for some great baseball around the country tomorrow.
Thank you very much for sticking with us till 1:16 a.m. Late night shows are fun. Um, yeah, so thank you very, very, very much for sticking with us. We will see you, man, probably at a very similar time tomorrow
See you
night.
at 1:30 at Olson Field
We
tomorrow.
will we will see you at 1:30 a.m. Live
Whoa.
for our reaction show, or whenever that game's over, we'll do another reaction. So yeah, hopefully A&M has advanced to super tomorrow. If you guys show up tomorrow night and make the atmosphere what it was tonight, whoever we play has absolutely no chance. So let's sweep this regional, get to supers, and we'll talk about the pitching plan after that. Thank you guys very, very much. And we'll see you tomorrow at Olson, and then we'll see you live after that.